Well, good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Goldberg for the Sales Pro Network. I am a sales coach and trainer. I work with both individuals and organizations all over the world to help them achieve measurable and sustainable sales increases. And I founded the Sales Pro Network as a place where you can come and network with other salespeople, ask for advice and get coaching and help. It's a place where you can learn how to earn more money and to elevate the profession of sales. If you've been with us before, you know that every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I either do a live training or a live interview with somebody who can add value to the profession of sales. We'll find out if today is no exception. I did not prepare a training for you because we have a guest. However, he's not here yet. So I will tap dance for a minute or two. And if he shows up, great. And if not, we're all getting off early today. I will say while we're waiting that we are into Q3 of the year. This is a great time, if you haven't done it already, to take a look at where you are, how far you've come towards your goal, how far you have to go, and then figure out, are you on track or aren't you? If you're not, then you have to figure out what steps do I need to take to actually get to where I want to go, to where I'm committed to being by the end of the year. And I was just communicating with somebody on LinkedIn this morning who's a success coach, and I was saying, I've been telling people that it's not too late. It's July, and it's late, but it's not too late. What most people do is they take a look at where they are around late October, early November, right around the holiday time quite often. And if you're having a struggle reaching your goal, your 2023 financial goal, and it's already late October, early November, chances are you're just not going to make it. It's too late to do anything. But July, you've still got some time. So now is a great time to take an assessment of where you are and where you need to be and get the help you need, whether that's from reading a book, going to a seminar, talking to your manager, hiring a coach, doing something to take action. What I find is so many people just don't do anything about it. They complain, they whine, but they aren't in action. And without action, nothing actually happens. So it's not too late. I'm happy to speak to anybody in the Sales Pro Network. Reach out to me, DM me through the Facebook group. We can have a 20-minute free conversation where I'll give you my best advice. I'm not trying to sell you on being my client, but I'm happy to help anyone. I'm a big believer in what goes around comes around, and when I give, I always get back somehow. So if you're struggling, please do feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way I can. If our guest does show up in the next couple of minutes, good morning, Bruce Casserman. Good to see you here with us today. If our guest does show up in the next couple of minutes, then we'll go into the interview. I'll tell you his name. His name is Shawn Shewchuk, and he's one of the top 25 speakers in 2022. He's a success coach. He works with high achievers. So he's definitely a guy that I wanted to talk to, and I did get an email earlier this week saying that he got the link to join us here, but so far I've got 10:03 and he ain't here. So, well, let's see. I see Pete Ekstrom is here, another great coach and trainer on how to cold call effectively. And he says, I can't believe I'm here. I believe you're here, Pete. If Pete or Bruce or anybody else who's watching live has any questions, I'm happy to answer those. If not, I'm going to give this all a minute or two, and then I'm just going to let you guys have an early Friday. John Hill says, outstanding words of wisdom for you, Jeff. Thank you, John. It's good to see you, my friend. John is a trade show coach. If you have a company that attends trade shows, needs help with how to really make the most of trade shows, then John is a great person to speak with. He's got vast experience, and he's a heck of a good guy. I personally don't exhibit at trade shows. My thing is I love walking around and talking to other people there, but John can help you if you and your company do. If you guys have any questions, real quick, if you want to get them into the chat, I'm happy to answer them. If not, I'm going to give this one more minute. It's 10:04 Eastern. I'll wait till 10:05, and then I'm going to cut it for the day. Okay, so we've got a Facebook user. By the way, I didn't say it, but if you're on Facebook and you haven't connected your account to StreamYard, it just says Facebook user. I don't know who you are. But somebody is asking, good morning, Jeff. In your experience, what was the most difficult judging you've ever had to overcome in your career? Difficult judging. Difficult objection. Okay, the most difficult objection. Well, I actually don't think objections are very difficult. The first thing I would suggest is change your thinking on the word overcome. Nobody likes to be overcome. There's a lot of things we say in sales that give us a bad mindset. So I prefer to consider, how do we work through objections? How do we help our prospect work through the objection on their own, so that they can come to the right conclusion, which is to do business with us. The most difficult, I can tell you, I'm not sure about what the most difficult one is. I can tell you a couple that I find happen the most often. For me, one of them is, well, Jeff, what experience do you have in our industry? Because I'm a sales coach, and my sales training and coaching is agnostic. It's industry agnostic. There's no one particular industry that it's meant for. And I've trained in a huge variety of industries. You name it, it's pretty hard to find an industry that I haven't done some work in. But that doesn't make me an expert in everybody's industry. So when somebody says to me, hey, Jeff, how much experience do you have in our industry? The answer could be, I have a ton. For example, if somebody said in the advertising sales industry, I've trained a ton of companies that sell advertising. But if they come up to me with something off the charts that I've never done, my answer is simply, well, the truth is I don't have any industry experience, but what I do have is 48 years of experience in sales, sales management, sales training, and sales coaching. And the fact is, almost all sales are the same. Is there a difference between selling air conditioning and selling sales training? Well, a little bit, but both of us still need to get in front of lots and lots of people. We have to have a process for getting in front of prospects. We have to have a process that we use when we're speaking with prospects, and I teach a 6-step sales process. So it's really all the same. If you're looking for an industry expert, you should Google that and find one, but I can tell you that I've caused magnificent results in a vast array of industries all over the world for the last 48 years. So that's the one that sometimes comes up for me. The other one that I think comes up most often for most people is price. Price is the one that salespeople tell me they have a struggle with. You're too expensive. So the first thing I think that it's crucial to know is there's a big difference between it's too expensive and I can't afford it. Those are two different, they sound similar, but they're actually two different objections. So I can't afford it means I want what you've got, I just don't have the money. Like you might want a Lamborghini, but you might not be able to afford a $200,000 car. So there's a difference between I can't afford it and it's too expensive. It's too expensive means you or I, the salesperson, did not show the person we're selling to enough value, because that's what people buy. They buy relationship with you, they buy people they like and trust, and they buy the value that you show them. So if you're showing them enough value, you never hear that's too expensive. I will sometimes hear when I give my number to a prospect, that's a lot of money, which is just a statement. And the reason is, it is a lot of money. I don't charge pennies for what I do. I value my time as much as I value anybody else's time, but I put a high value on my time and the wealth of experience and dedication that I bring to every engagement, whether it's coaching one-on-one or training a large sales team or doing some consulting. I think my time is valuable. And if I don't value my own time, why would they? So when somebody says that's a lot of money, I get it. And my simple answer is, yes, it is. Anything good takes an investment. But if somebody would say to me, and I don't hear this, that's too expensive, then I know I haven't done a good job of showing them the value that I bring to the table. And one of the best things you can think about, and actually a great question you can ask when you're selling, is one that I love to use almost every time. So I see my friend Hi Goldstoff is here. Hey, guy. Hey, Hi. So if I was trying to sell Hi, and we got to the end and he said, that's too expensive, I know that I didn't show Hi enough value. I didn't show him how what I'm going to do is going to help him and his team make more money. So the question I like to ask is this: Hi, let's say you and I are talking 6 months from now. We've been working together for 6 months. We decide you and I are going to work together. Notice I did not say you're going to choose to work with me. We decide we're going to work together. We're sitting here 6 months from now having a conversation, and I ask you this question: Hi, what would have to happen if we're actually sitting in his office, I would be asking, what happened in the last 6 months that made you say, wow, I really am thrilled that I worked with you? And I like to ask that question on a sales call, which would be, what would have to have happened in the last 6 months for you to say, thank goodness I decided to work with you? Well, when somebody answers that question, when they tell you what would have to happen for them to be thrilled in choosing to work with you, then what they're telling you is exactly what they want, exactly what they need. And rather than me tell somebody what they should have, I want them to tell me what they want or need first. Now, it could very well be that they tell me what they want or what they need or what they think they want or need, and I'm going to challenge them. I'm going to say, I got it. I can certainly deliver that, but I think what would really give you a better result is X or Y or Z. Because as the salesperson, you have to be the expert. You have to be the person that points them in the right direction. Because there's something, I like the phrase, the customer is always right, but the fact is the customer is not always right. The customer does not always know what they want. They think they know what they want, but sometimes it's wrong. And I'm not interested in working with anybody who's not going to get a fantastic result. So I'll give you a quick example. When I sell sales training to large organizations, sometimes they have a sales training department or a training department in general. Now, they'll still talk to a guy like me because I bring specificity to the table, whereas an overall training generalist can't do the same things I can, doesn't have the same breadth of knowledge and experience in sales. But even if they have a sales training department, I'm often brought in to do a day of training here, a day of training there. And when I go in and propose my solution, I'm always going to talk about the training I'm going to do, but I'm always going to propose a reinforcement package, usually getting together again with the team a few times over the next 6 months, possibly coaching one-on-one with the entire team or with just a few people on the team, or one-on-one with them at various intervals. Sometimes the company will say, Jeff, we want the training, but we'll do the reinforcement ourselves. Either my managers will do the reinforcement or the training department will do the reinforcement. And I know that there's no way that the management team or even the training department is going to be able to reinforce what I've taught their people as well as I'm going to be able to do it. And what I'm looking for, and by the way, what the prospect is looking for, is to get a result. They're not hiring me for my good looks. They're not hiring me because I'm funny. I may not be good looking, but I am pretty funny. But that's not why people hire me. They hire me because they want their sales to increase. So I know what's going to get them the best result, and it's incumbent upon me to let them know that. So when somebody says, I only want the training, I will tell them, you're not, excuse me, you're not going to get the result you're looking for. You're just going to be paying my mortgage. So after I've told somebody that, if they still want to move forward with the training, I'll tell them, I'm going to take your money. I'm going to deliver exactly what you want. It's not what you need, but it's exactly what you want. So when we're selling, we've got to be the ones, in the book, The Challenger Sale, by the way, they talk about this. You've got to be the one to challenge somebody and give them the right thing. I would personally rather walk away from a deal than do something that's not going to give people the result they're looking for, because that hurts my brand. It also allows me to not sleep at night, and I like sleeping at night. I hope that whoever asked that question, I actually gave you an answer because I think I kind of wandered around a little bit, but I think I gave you some help with objections. High Gold Stuff says that because the guest not here, it's the guest loss. Well, it's our loss too. I was really looking forward to talking to this guy. If nobody has any more questions, and I don't see anything in the comments, I'm going to let you guys go. I apologize that Shawn did not show up. This has happened a couple of times in the last few months, and I'm getting concerned that I'm doing something wrong. So I'm going to work on that for you guys. In the meantime, please have a wonderful weekend. Please reach out to me if there's anything I can do. For those of you who are listening, if you're interested, I just launched my online sales training programs. They're available to the public, of course, for a fee. If anybody's interested, just reach out to me at jeff@jgsalespro.com, or you can find me in the Facebook group, DM me. I'll be happy to show you what they look like and give you pricing and all that stuff. And I'll end as I always do. Please remember that sales is a game of making things happen. So get out there and make sales happen. And I'll work very hard to make our next guest happen. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about that. Have a great day.